Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Wellbeing Knits podcast. My name is Robin and I will be your host today. My name is Wellbeing Knit on Instagram and I'm Dumbledore's Socks on Ravelry. I'll put all the details below in the description box. I'm very nervous. I haven't done this in a while and yeah, I'm a bit nervous. So bear with me as I try and figure out how I do this and what I'm doing. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different because it is purely acquisitions. So I will not be talking about anything I'm knitting. I might be talking about future plans, but primarily it will be acquisitions. And the few out there that watch my Instagram stories will probably know what exactly I'm going to talk about. I'm very excited to do this episode. I've been thinking about it, but I've just been so busy and also just nervous to come back and do this. Also, I might be trying something a little bit different with this episode. I'm going to try and incorporate some pictures. So if you watch this and there is no pictures, you know I didn't succeed. But I will try my best. I had my hair down when I did the first record, like the first 10 minutes of this, and I got too hot. So it's back up in a ponytail and out the way. Right, sorry, little diversion there. So yes, I'm going to try and incorporate some pictures, but I might not be successful. I'm sorry, but I'll try. So let's get into it. So acquisitions time. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Amsterdam. Me and my parents went to Amsterdam. And what do you think of as a knitter when you think of Amsterdam? You're all screaming it, Stephen and Penelope, right? So that was the primary reason we went there. And it had to be done. We've wanted to go for a long time and we finally went and it was brilliant. And we want to go again and again and again. It was so good. So even if you're not a knitter, I would recommend going to Amsterdam and just having a wander around because it is so cool. I had no idea what to expect. I'd never been before. I didn't know transport. I didn't know anything really. And so it was very cool to go to Amsterdam, just Amsterdam alone, but going to Stephen and Penelope, I can't even speak, it's so amazing. Going to Stephen and Penelope was just amazing and I would highly recommend that you go. We flew from Norwich. It took 35 minutes to Schiphol, I'm sorry I said that wrong, sorry, Schiphol Airport, and then we just used public transport and it was so easy. And yeah, I would highly recommend that you go. But anyway, so we went from a Saturday to a Thursday. We stayed in an Airbnb. Like I said, it took 35 minutes on the plane. We got to the airport. We bought our train tickets there because the train station is right within the airport. We bought our train tickets, so we didn't know what to get until we got there basically. And the options are a 1 day, a 2 day, or a 3 day pass. Obviously you can buy like individual tickets as well, singles, returns, that kind of thing. But what we ended up doing was we got 2 3-day passes, so that took us to I think it was maybe the Tuesday, and then we got another one which got us to the Friday, so we could get back to the airport on the Thursday. So we arrived around, I think it was around 12 o'clock, and we couldn't get into our Airbnb until 4 o'clock. So we had time. We didn't really know what to do. Like, our original plan wasn't to go to Stephen and Penelope straight away, and that was I was fine with that. I knew we had days to do that. But we sat down in the airport and my dad was like, right, so should we go to Stephen and Penelope? I was like, yes, absolutely. That's absolutely fine with me. So so yeah, so that's what we did. So and so I just googled where to go. I looked at the boards and all that. Obviously, well, not obviously, we had to get a train to Amsterdam Central. I wanted to say Central, I'm sorry, Amsterdam Central. And then from Amsterdam Central we got a bus to the area where Stephen and Penelope is. Now we found out afterwards we could have, well, we didn't find out afterwards, we knew, but because we had our passes, we could use these passes for bus, train, metro, anything. Well, yeah, those three. I think there's another option, but those three come into mind. Tram, there was a tram as well, so we could use it for all four in a certain area of Amsterdam, a certain area of around Amsterdam. I'll show you the map in a second. So what we did, actually, you know what, I'll show you the map now. So we got this map, and all the lines are the transport, the trains, sorry. So there's Amsterdam Central right there. So we were here. This is the airport. We got the train to Amsterdam Central, which is in the location of where Stephen and Penelope is. And then our Airbnb was actually down here in Hilversum. If you can see that, Hilversum. So that's what we did. We went to, we just used that pass. So that pass covers this entire area. So that was almost, we didn't cover all of it. We could have done, but we didn't. And right, so the first day we get there, and then so we get the train to Amsterdam Central, and then we get the bus. Like I said, we could have walked. It was about a 20, I want to say 30-minute walk. I think Google said 20, but it was probably about 30. If I'm honest, you're walking along a street that has quite a lot of shops and cafes and things, so it was really cool to just have a look in those, and that's probably why it took a bit longer. And you cross a couple of the canals and things like that. So yeah, so Amsterdam. So that was what we did. So now we've got the bus, sorry, to the road where Stephen and Penelope is. And as we were walking along, I don't know who, one of us says, there's a yarn shop right there. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, another yarn shop. So it wasn't Stephen and Penelope. It's about, I want to say 4 or 5, no, probably more than that, about 10 shops away and across the road. So it wasn't on the doorstep, but it was close, and it was called Hooks and Yarn. I'll try and put a picture in here. Beautiful little place. So we went in there, had a little look around. They had some hand dyed by the owner, which you will see a little bit later. They also had commercial yarns. I think they had I want to say Jameson and Smith. No, sorry. Jameson's of Shetland, I think. Let Lopi, some cottons, some super soft yarn that I can't remember the name of now. Cute little place, really, really nice. The owner was there. The lady was there. The owner. Yeah, beautiful little place. And so we had a little look in there, and then we carried on to find Stephen and Penelope. We got to Stephen and Penelope, and it's across the road from us. And I'm just stood there, just staring at it, and didn't quite know what to do. And then we crossed over, and we were just staring at it again. And then we took some pictures. I was like, it's going to disappear before my eyes if I don't take a picture right now. So we took some pictures, and we stood there and we looked in the window. And I was so, I don't know what it was, I was so anxious to go in. I was like, I can't go in there. That's not allowed. And so anyway, we went in. Beautiful, beautiful. And the ladies that work in there were lovely. And Stephen himself wasn't there. I'm not sure if Penelope, or I think her real name is Malia. I'm not sure. Terrible, I know, but I don't think she was there either. And anyway, we just wandered around. We saw so much yarn. And so obviously, so if you don't know, why would you? Well, unless you've been. If you don't know, Stephen and Penelope, so they have Westwool, which is Stephen's like what line of yarn. And then they also have Twisted Ambitions, which is from the US. They have, I think you pronounce it Ching Fibers. He also had some more local yarns as well. And I'm going to forget the name now. I think Life in the Long Grass as well. Anyway, my plan of action was Westwool. I went there for Stephen and Penelope and Westwool. I was interested in other things, but I thought, no, I'd come here for Westwool. I know, I'm sorry. So yeah. So we had a look round. We didn't buy anything. I know what you're thinking. That's insane. But we didn't. We didn't buy anything that first day. And then we went to our Airbnb and all that stuff. The next day, I'm not going to know. I can't remember chronologically. But either the next day or a couple of days later, we went again. And this time we just waltzed in like we knew the place. And bought some yarn, really. That's it. That's the conclusion of all this. Yarn was purchased. And that's why you're all here and that's what you want to see. But first, let me start with hooks and yarn, okay? Now, hooks and yarn. I'm suddenly worried I don't have what I wanted to show everybody. So when I'd gone into hooks and yarn, the lady in there, she had explained to me that she had hand-dyed yarn, and this yarn was let me explain. I'm trying to think where it is now. Oh, I have a picture. Let me get my picture. So she explained it up here. There we go. So I was able to, this sounds silly, I kind of knew what I wanted to buy. I'm going back to Stephen and Penelope. I kind of knew what I wanted to buy from Stephen and Penelope, but I just wasn't 100% sure what colour and all that sort of stuff. So that extra day kind of gave me that time to plan and think about what I wanted. The plan went out of the window. So my plan was initially, well, sorry, I'm jumping around. Let me get back to hooks and yarn. So we were in hooks and yarn, and she explained that this yarn was very special. So it is called Mokum. That's the name of the yarn brand that she dyes under. Now, Mokum, Amsterdam. The name comes from the Hebrew, which means place. It's a Hebrew word that means place or city via Yiddish. It ended up in... Sorry, let me start again. Right, okay, so the language that is spoken in Amsterdam borrowed words from this Yiddish. It ended up in bargains, from which the Amsterdam dialect borrowed many words. So there was many words from this Yiddish language. So long story short, Mokum means Amsterdam. And so that was what the lady was explaining to me. So it's a very old word that she said that some kind of older Amsterdam residents still call Amsterdam. It's like the original name for Amsterdam. So yeah, so I thought that was really nice. And at first I thought, oh no, I'm not gonna get anything. I'm you know, there's nothing I really want in this shop. And then I kind of walked away and I thought, oh, I really like that yarn. It was really nice. And what I'll do, if I find that little picture that explains it better, I'll put it on the screen. But what I wanted to do first was show the yarn that I bought from her. So we went back. We decided we wanted to go back because we wanted to go to her yarn shop. Now we did go on the Sunday. That's right. We went on the Sunday to Stephen and Penelope, but they were Hooks and Yarn were closed, but Stephen and Penelope were open. So we wanted to go again to Hooks and Yarn. And so so Mokum Outstanding Silk Sock, hand dyed by Sandra McButton, Amsterdam. And I'm so sorry if I've butchered that explanation, but that's how she explained it to me, was that Mokum means Amsterdam, or it's the original name for Amsterdam. So yes, that's my first, not my first purchase, but anyway. So there is the Mokum there, you can see on there, Mokum. And so this is 60% superwash merino, 20% recycled nylon, and 20%, let me translate that. Silk. Well, that makes sense because it says outstanding silk sock. So there is the word. I didn't want to try to butcher that one. So yes, so it's 425 meters, 465 yards per 100 grams, and this is called Berry Blue. How cute. So when we went again, the lady wasn't there, but the man was there, and I don't, the man that works there, he was there. He said she dyes once and that's it, it's gone. So this was like a one time, there's no more. In this colour. I don't know if she sells it on her website. I will link it below if I can find it. But obviously, like I say, they're all one of a kinds. So yeah, so I really like that. And then I walked out, went to Stephen and Penelope, had my mind on Stephen and Penelope. I'd seen a skein in the Hooks and Yarn, and there was only one. And I thought, no, I'll leave it. It's fine. I don't need a single skein. Like I said, went to Stephen and Penelope, did my thing. Couldn't get the skein out of my mind, could I? I don't know why. I'm not a red person, and this is quite a bit more red than it's maybe showing up. But I'm apparently in my pink era lately, so I'll explain why in a second. So, but this is gorgeous, and because it's that silk, it's soft, gorgeous. So it's the same 60% superwash merino, 20% recycled nylon, 20% silk, 425 meters. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of this one, so that's the name there. And gorgeous. I said to the owner, I said to the man in the shop, it cannot be left on its own. I need to take it. So I did. I bought it, then took it. I paid, don't worry. So yes, stunning. Highly recommend going to that shop. Beautiful. But now, now we are here for Stephen and Penelope. That's the key, isn't it? So firstly, let me show you some bits that I got from Stephen and Penelope. So my mum spied these bags, I know, because I need another project bag. I couldn't justify buying one of the proper bags. And also I preferred this one, and you'll see why. How cute! How cute, right? So Stephen and Penelope Amsterdam, and it's just a little drawstring. I think it was maybe €7. So cute. And I put there was stickers, we got stickers on some of our bags, so I just stuck the sticker inside. How cute! And then we also got, oh, this isn't very exciting, sorry, but I'm just going to show you anyway. They came in these brown bags with Stephen and Penelope on them. So cute. So I'm going to keep those, and then just in case anyone doesn't believe me even further, there's the receipt, and I won't show you the price. So that's the receipt. And I'll put some pictures in as I'm going along. Oh, and also, this wasn't from Stephen and Penelope, but we bought these cute magnets. It's got a magnet, and the wheels turn round. So anyway, sorry, let's get to the good stuff, shall we? Stop waffling on. So my plan was to buy yarn for a dustland sweater. I'll put a picture here. Now, oh sorry, I think I'm knocking the camera. So a dustland sweater. So that's what I wanted to buy yarn for, and I wanted. So I looked at the pattern. He recommended that you purchase. So he knit his, the one in the pattern is not knit out of his yarn. So, and then but on the Ravelry page it says you can use tandem. Now tandem is a DK, and what we learned from our stash organisation is that there is not a lot of DK in this house. Although I say that, I'll explain that later. So DK was purchased for a dustland. I'm so excited, and that sweater is gorgeous. So I looked at the colours online, and I had a few in mind, and I just thought, okay. And then I saw them in person on the first day. I saw them in person, and I thought, I'm not loving those colours. Like in person, they just weren't doing it for me. So I went when I went away, I looked again on the website, and I found this colour, and I ended up finding two colours really, but the one colour I found online, gorgeous. Are you ready? How beautiful. It's a little bit, I would say a little bit darker, maybe in reality. Let's see if I can give us a bit more, but then if I give more light it'll just look brighter. Yeah, so it's probably closer to, yeah, it's probably a bit closer to that. It's a heathered yarn, so you can see, I think you can kind of see that in there. It's heathered. It's the tandem, West Wool tandem, 100% South American merino wool, and this is hibiscus, and it is DK weight, 100 grams. Beautiful. So obviously I'm knitting a sweater, a jumper for that, so I actually bought 5 in the end. So there's 3. Oh no, that's the wrong one, excuse me. So I bought 3, sorry, 3, imagine I bought 5. So I'm hoping that'll be plenty for a dustland. And while I was there, in my head I was thinking, oh, I'd really like to buy that for I don't know, and that for I don't know, and that for something as well. And what I ended up doing was I got this yarn. Do you want to see it again, just in case you didn't see it before? beautiful. Now my mom is knitting this right now, not this colour, a different colour, and she says it's really nice to knit with. So there you go. That is tandem. So beautiful. I just don't want to let it go. So I got 5 of those, and I didn't want to stop there. I did and I didn't. I didn't have projects in mind, and when I show you what else I bought, you're probably thinking, are you sure you've got projects in mind? So so when we'd gone away, and I was looking on Instagram and all that sort of stuff, and then up pops a picture of a cute little shawl that Stephen had designed, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I really like that shawl, and I tried a shawl on while I was there. And anyway, it turns out he has been doing, I'm not very good at all this stuff apparently, he had been doing a mini shawl book thing, digital book. So there was four patterns, and this was version 2. So there's already a version 1 that has 4 other patterns. Excuse me. And I didn't think about it. I looked at it, and the thing, it said, you know, if you get it now, it's a little bit cheaper, and you're only paying for 2, and blah, blah. So I was like, I really like there was 2 shawls in this set that I really liked, and I really like a small shawl anyway. And let me see if I'll put a picture in of the 2 that I want to make. But let me see if I can just find the name of them. No, that's not it. Library, there we go. So I bought this little set of shawls, thinking, I'm here, let's get yarn for them, right? Makes sense to me. So small shawls, no, I bought small shawls 2, that's what it's called. And there was 2 in there that I really, really liked, and it was the Pierre skinny scarf. I'll put a picture, and if not, please, I'll maybe try and link below if I don't get the pictures in. And the other one was the Smock O'Clock triangle. Now this one hadn't come out, and it was due to come out at 4 o'clock that day, and I think it was our last day. Oh, sorry, not the day we were like actually flying, it was the day before, so last full day, should I say. And it hadn't come out yet, and the ladies at the shop, they had a look for me to see what I knew. So the only way I knew what yarn to buy for it was because he'd put it on the Instagram. He'd said, oh, you need a skein of blah blah blah. So the ladies there looked for the details a bit more further for me, because because I was there in the morning. If I was going back at 4 o'clock or whatever it was, the pattern would be there, and you know, it would be on Ravelry, and I could say, oh, I need this, this and this. But the pattern, the colour that he had knit it in, was this beautiful blue, and I've since found out it was not the yarn I bought. But anyway, it was this gorgeous blue, and I just really loved it. I was sold. So I left the shop thinking, no, I won't buy it, that's just silly, I don't know what I need. And then I thought, no, I do know what I need, and I do know what I like, and I'm going to buy it. So I bought these 2. That's pretty true to colour. It's a little bit darker. Yeah, it's more like that. It's a bit darker. This is Bicycle. So West Wool Bicycle, 100% South American merino wool. Bicycle. It's Midnight. The colour is Midnight. You may have seen the shawl. You may know what shawl and I'll put the picture in. It's kind of a lace. It's just popped up on my screen. A lacy pattern. Gorgeous. So sorry, this is a 50-gram fingering weight skein, 175 meters, 191 yards. So that's going to be a little scarf. Oh, it's beautiful. Smock O'Clock triangle. Beautiful. And then he also said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sale on the Small Shawls 1. Now, Small Shawls 1 happens to have the Dustland shawl. The little one, granted, the little one. But I was not bothered by that. So I purchased Small Shawls 1. Or at least I think I looked at the Ravelry and then purchased it later on. I can't remember now. But anyway, it includes the Dustland Skinny Shawl. I'm just trying to remember the two that I liked. Ah, here we go. So there was, oh, actually, you know what? I liked all 4 in this set. Dustland Skinny Shawl, a skinny scarf, fur rib skinny scarf, melting mull kerchief, and the bubble bandana. So Dustland. So this, I'm going to have a Dustland sweater, and then I'm going to have a Dustland shawl. So now I technically have slightly more yarn than I need, so I'm hoping I can get one out of the pink. If not, I thought about it. If I do not have enough yarn, I bought this beautiful colour to do it in, to knit the Dustland in. Gorgeous. And I think it goes really nice with the pink. So this is, sorry everybody, so this is Tandem again, so it's his DK yarn. This is green olive, and this is again 100 grams DK weight, 233 meters, 254 yards. So that will be a Dustland scarf. I'm trying to remember the order of how everything happened, and I can't. So, but that's basically what happened. But I wasn't prepared to leave it at that. Now, when I'd left after I'd bought the pink, so I bought the pink on a separate day to the others, and in that Tandem yarn, he had a skein called Minty, beautiful. He also had an orange, which was gorgeous, heathered, very similar to that pink, but orange. Did I buy either of those? No. I don't know why. But anyway, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fingering weight in the Minty, because I really like this Minty. And unfortunately, when I went, they didn't have the Minty in the fingering weight. But I also had in mind for my Dustland, I had spied a yellow. I know there's tons of it. I mean, there's a little bit, but you know, yellow isn't the colour I generally go for, but this yellow pulled me right in. But I didn't like it in the DK. So what I did was I bought it in the fingering. Stunning. Oh, it's gorgeous on screen. It's probably a little bit darker, but it's very close. How cute. So that is West Wool Tricycle. A tricycle, how cute. 100% superwash merino wool, 50 grams, fingering, 200 meters, 218 yards. And I didn't just buy one. I bought 2. But I didn't just buy 2. I bought 3. And yes, you're saying that's a different colour, Robin. Yes, it is. This is green olive. So I got green olive in the DK and in this kind of fingering weight. Beautiful, beautiful. And so my plan, and I didn't just buy 1, I bought 2. Because why not? So my plan, and it's a very weak plan, as you will see when I start talking. My plan is to do potentially either a striped toaster tee, or a striped tee of some kind, probably the toaster numbers or something, or a Simon shawl by Twin Set and Pearl. Toaster is by the Cray Bear, by the way. Where was I? Simon shawl. No. Yeah, Simon. That's what I'm thinking of. A Simon shawl by Twin Set and Pearl, or something else that takes 2 skeins and stripy. My other thought was a what's it called? Dotted raise, in a two colour dotted raise. So plans, sort of. So yeah, so that's my purchases. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, if I say so myself. I would go again. I would go loads more times. And yeah, part of me is like, I would want to go now. So today is the key day in Westnit's world, in my opinion. It is the release of the MCAL today. So I don't think you can buy the don't know if you can buy the pattern, but you can buy kits for it right now. So literally released today. So if I was going again, I'd try and coordinate the time, and you know, so I can get you on for that. But anyway, yes, so I'm just looking at it all, and it's all beautiful. Here's all the colours again, in case you missed it the first time. There are the 4 colours that I bought. These 2 are fingering, the bottom 2 are DK. Aren't they beautiful? And what I wanted, and I kept saying to the girls in there, I've never knit with this colour. I've never knit with this colour either. And then I thought about it. I was like, yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So the only colour I really hadn't knit with, really, I mean, I don't think I've knit with yellow too much. I've knit green, and I do have a pink jumper. I didn't want a same colour jumper that I already had, but I didn't care in the end. I don't tend to go for this sort of greeny colour. Obviously I go for blues a lot as well. I go for blues a lot anyway, but I wanted something a little bit out of my usual, and that was probably this one. And I thought about getting an orange for the sweater jumper. But I do have an orange jumper that actually, when I thought about it, and I don't know why I thought about this while I was in Stephen and Penelope, I thought I might frog that one. I don't think it's been on the pod, it's years old now. And I've never worn it. I don't think I really liked the fit. Anyway, I've gone off track now. So that is my purchases. They're currently living in an organza bag, which I got from Hooks and Yarn, just in case you want to see Hooks and Yarn again. So my plan for this single beautiful skein is I'm either going to pair it with an undyed, either an undyed, any undyed. I was thinking even yak might look nice, and do a Simon, or something else. I don't know, no plans. I just couldn't leave it on its own in that shop. Poor thing. So yeah, so that's what I got. And I'll just show you some other goodies that I've also purchased while I was there. Just put this all back in the bag. Actually, I'll just leave that there like that. And I also, while we were in sorry, I went off screen then. While we were in Amsterdam, we went into the little touristy shops, which is where I got my magnet. I also bought a tulip keyring, which is just downstairs. I just love this magnet. And then we also spied, while my mom did, we went into this shop, and they had like all the like clogs, primarily, but they also had little bags, and they had either a tote bag or a little zip bag. So we bought a zip bag. Let me show you it. Oh, actually I can show you. So it was called 100% Holland Dam Square Souvenirs. So it was in Dam Square. And so yeah, so anyway, so this is the bag. Isn't that cute? So it's a little zip bag. I think it was like, I don't know, €4. Might have been less than that really. And then as I was at the counter paying, I saw this cute little pin. I was a sucker for a pin. And it's just so cute. I hope you can see that. Sort of. So it's just those kind of iconic houses, Amsterdam, and then tulips. I think you can kind of see that. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, really enjoyed our time there. Like I said, we stayed in an Airbnb in Hilversum, so that was about sorry for the rustling, that was about half an hour. No, yeah, about half an hour away from Amsterdam. Super easy on the train. It was about so the Airbnb was maybe a 10-minute walk from the train. And then in Hilversum as well, there was shops and cafes and restaurants and yeah, everything you would need if you just went there. But if you wanted Stephen Penelope, you'd have to go to Amsterdam, obviously. We also, while we were there, we went to the beach. So we went to Zandvoort and Zee. So we got the bus there, the train there, sorry. We also, that was it really. That was the two main places we went. Amsterdam Central. And at Amsterdam Central, if you haven't been before, just out, so the central station, you've got the trams and the buses and the metro, but there's also a ferry, because it's very it's right by the water there. That's the central station there, so it's right by this water. And we saw these ferries and we didn't really know what was going on there. And so what we did, actually this is a slightly better picture. Yeah, here, so you can see, or maybe you can't. You can see there's a ferry there and there's one and there's one there. It's just going across the water. This is the central station here. So we watched this ferry. I was fascinated by this ferry. And they had these little cars that would drive on. And I was like, what is going on? There's a car on this tiny little ferry and it's a tiny little car. Anyway, we later found out it's free, this ferry. I mean, it only goes across, across the water. But I assumed you'd have to like check your, and that was the other thing. So what we did was, these were our, does that have anything on there that would, no. So this was our 3-day pass there. So I assumed what you do is you tap this card on the little sign thing when you get on and tap it again when you get off. That's not something that's, people did that all over the place, but they had to tap off, which I thought was unusual. But anyway, I haven't travelled very much, can you tell? Although we did have to do that in Canada when we lived there. But anyway, so where was I? So yeah, this ferry. So we were watching these ferries. It felt like thousands of people would get on this ferry, and then thousands of people would come off, all on their bikes. So many bikes everywhere. And so anyway, we're watching this ferry and found out it was free. So we hopped on and we went across, and the first place we went across to was a little I don't know, it was kind of there was a little, was it a museum, like a theatre thing? There was a big tall building with a swing on the top, which looked really cool. So yeah, so we did that, and then the next one we did was we went to, let me see if I got the name of that place. No, it doesn't say. Then we went on the other ferry, which goes further up the water, and this goes to NDSM. Don't know what that means. NDSM. And there they had a graffiti museum, and we didn't go in the museum, but we went in the next door. There was this kind of, how would you call, a warehouse, and it was filled with different little, how can I say, like little studios, I guess, like little artist studios. And there was a Banksy exhibition thing. We didn't go in, we just took pictures because it was really cool. And yeah, so that was really cool. And we didn't, when we first got there, it just seemed very foodie. There was just food everywhere, and there was like apartment buildings and businesses and things that we weren't really interested in. And then we walked around a little bit and we found this graffiti place, and on the side of the wall it said, yes, you can paint here, or something it said. Anyway, so that was really fun. I got some pictures there, and yeah, it was really, really good. Can you tell? I really enjoyed it, and I'd go again, completely, 100% go again. I think that is all for Amsterdam. I will stop worrying you about that now and try and move this on a bit because it's getting on a bit. But anyway, I've got 3 other events to tell you about, and I'll keep them very brief. So that was Amsterdam. Loved it. Would recommend. But now we move on to different things. So while I was in, so my parents live in Norfolk, so I was in Norfolk for my time off. For work, I can work there, and I also was there for time off as well. And we went to, me and my mum went to a little craft fair. Craft fair? Yeah, craft fair. Let's call it a craft fair. That was at a little deli kind of thing. So I bought this bag. Isn't that beautiful? I love this tie. I love the tie more than anything else, but I love this fabric. She had beautiful bags, lots like this, tote bags as well. So this was in Norfolk. Sorry if I didn't explain that properly. So inside there's this beautiful fabric. Oh, it has her name, thank God. Aquila Crafts. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And that was £11. £11 for that. Beautiful. Also, another thing that happened. Now, this isn't... so, my friend went to Norway. And I jokingly said, get me some yarn. Get me some Norway yarn. And she did it. And I was shocked. I was like, this is amazing and beautiful. And yeah, she doesn't knit. So it was a bit foreign territory for her. But she Googled a yarn shop, where to find a yarn shop. Her and her husband went off and found some yarn for me. And I was so excited because this yarn, me and my mum had actually talked about buying some from within the UK. Beautiful. You will see. This is from my friend who went to Norway. I'm trying to be clear, but I don't know if I am being clear. Isn't that pretty? So this is Peer Gynt, Sanders Garn Peer Gynt Tweed. It is the Norwegian yarn factory since 1888. It is 75% Norwegian wool and 25% Peruvian tweed from wool. Peruvian tweed from wool, produced in Norway, blah blah blah, and it is 1502. That's the colour. So she bought me 3, and apparently the lady in the shop said it would be perfect for a hat. Now, I don't knit hats, but I think I might do. I think I might try and knit a hat. I kind of want a cowl though. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, so that's really cute. So thank you, friend. Thank you, Tracy. That's my friend's name, obviously. And then oh golly, I think I should joke more often with people that get me on from foreign places. So yeah, so that was that. And then now, this is going to be a slightly bigger conversation. Last weekend, yeah, it was last weekend, me and my mum got the train to Newbury Racecourse and we went to Southern Wool Show. So we bought a little bit, just a little bit. And yeah, so I thought I'd show you. I did say this was all acquisitions and I wasn't joking. I wish I was sometimes. So, Southern Wool Show. Let me just get this bag. Oh, let me try and move back a bit so I don't hit the table so many times. So, Southern Wool Show 2025, 30th and 31st of August. We went on the 30th of August, 10 AM to 4 PM, Newbury Racecourse, Southern Wool Show. There's quite a lot of vendors, so there's the vendor map right there. Quite a lot of vendors. No plans. There was only one plan, and that one plan was Christmas yarn, because West Yorkshire Spinners has just brought out their Christmas yarn for the year. Beautiful. It's on gold sparkle. It's probably again a bit darker. So it's West Yorkshire Spinners signature Signature Sparkle 4-ply in the mulled wine colourway. 1295 is the number for that. It is 75% wool, 23% nylon, 2% polyester. So it obviously has this little sparkle in it as well. Can you see the gold stellina in that? Well, it's not stellina, but gold flecks. With that, you get a pattern. So that's the pattern. Wherever you order this yarn, you get this pattern. So if you ordered from Wool Warehouse, you'll get the pattern. So that's the pattern. I got her, so I bought mine, and I seem to do that every year now, is from Interknit Cafe. So that's Interknit Cafe. She has lots of, she has Zalba balls, she has West Yorkshire spinners, she has Opal. Yeah, lovely little shop. She's there every year from my experience. I'm running out of space on the table. Also from her, I saw this on another podcast and I wanted to buy it if I could, was this Opal. Again, a bit darker in person. And it's around animals. I haven't translated this. But this one is based on this crab. Can you see that purple crab? So they had a fox one and a parrot, I think. So yeah, so I'm not going to try pronounce the name, but there's the name and the numbers for you. Whether I do show notes, I'm not sure. I'll try, but I'm not sure. Then I went to Bird Street and I'd seen this on their Instagram and I thought about purchasing it. I wasn't sure if I was going to purchase it or not, but had to when I saw it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I did only buy one, which I'm slightly regretting, but there's one. Bird Street yarn. That is Town and Country Mice. It's on 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 4-ply, 100 grams, 425 meters. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love that. Love that so much. I don't know what I'm going to do with a single skein, but I love it. Then I went to, this wasn't the order we went, but anyway, we went to Sheep on Mars and I bought those two. I was thinking a striped tee. I don't know why I've got striped tees in my head, but there we go. A striped tee. I just loved the colour. This is much darker in person. This is darker too. So I just loved those two together. They were on the hook together and I just thought, there we go. That's what I want. And then I also, I spied this on Sheep on Mars. Sheep on Mars is lovely. Natalie, she's lovely. Her and her husband organise Southern Wool Show and the other shows that they do that are in the Southern Wool Show kind of range. So they do Summer Wool Show, they do the Christmas Wool Show, Southern Wool Show, and that's it. No, there's another one, I'm sure there is, but I can't think of the name right now. So I spied these at Sheep on Mars as well. Aren't they cute? So there'll be a top at some point. And then I, Crafty Bird was there and she had a bargain bucket. Of course she did. So I raided the bargain bucket. I think this will shock you, actually, a lot of you, to be honest, because these are not my usual, I wouldn't say, except for maybe the one of them, but not the other one. Beautiful. So there was 3 of these in the bargain bucket. My mum got the other 2. Aren't they gorgeous? Isn't this gorgeous? I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. So this is, I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry, Fiero. So it's from the Wicked collection, Wicked, and it's called Fiero. It's gold sparkle socks, so 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina, 100 grams, 400 meters. beautiful. And I actually like the actor that's Theo in Wicked, but there we go. I didn't know that at the time. Beautiful, because I've never seen Wicked. And then I bought this one alongside. Again, darker in real life, sorry. This is cool. This is from her Fourth Wing collection, another thing I don't know about. This is called Blue Dagger Tail, cozy 4-ply, 100%. Oh, I didn't know that. 100% superwash merino wool. Again, sorry, it is darker in person. Yeah, it's kind of more like that. Yeah. Then I've also got this one. Beautiful. Again, I'm sorry, it's darker. It's much more maroon, very deep maroon colour, almost brown, I would say. And this is, but it's called, sorry, it's called Brown Scorpion Tail, and again, it's from the Fourth Wing collection. It's a cozy 4-ply superwash merino wool, 100 grams, 400 meters. So I thought either together or separately. I hadn't decided yet. Beautiful. And then, sorry, there's more. One more, and you've all seen this one before. Would it be an episode if I didn't include Blue Fern yarns? Blue Fern yarns. It would almost be criminal not to. Blue Fern yarns. Beautiful Shannon of Blue Fern yarns dyed this masterpiece. It is Fright Night. It's on her Yak 4-ply, 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. So this will be joining my other Fright Night. And again, I'm sorry, it is darker. It's more beautiful in person. I'm sorry, it just is. When I bought this off her, she said, it will go in my cube. Yes, it will. It will go in your cube, which is right here. She has a friend, actually. She has a friend, this one. I can't see it. Anyway, it will go straight in Blue Fern Yarns cube. And that's it. That's everything. 57 minutes. I'm sorry, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I've inspired you maybe to... I'm putting this all back in the bag. It's going on the shelves in a second. I hope I've inspired you to maybe do a little trip to Amsterdam, if you can. Amsterdam, if you can. Yeah. Beautiful. Definitely worth going. Oh, I wanted to say, we didn't see Stephen West there, which was fine. We had met him, so I'll put a picture here, a funny picture. Well, not funny. I just have really short hair, so I look a bit strange. Bad hair decision, that one. But anyway, I'll put a picture here of me meeting Stephen West in 2017. So me and my mom went to Seattle for Vogue Knitting Live, and it was a bit funny actually. So I'll tell this little story and then I'll let you all go. We had booked a hotel, and this hotel was linked to Vogue Knitting Live. It was just across the road. So Vogue Knitting Live Seattle was in Seattle in 2017, and so we booked this hotel and we went out for the day. I guess we went to Vogue Knitting and then somewhere else, and then we come back to the hotel, and in the lobby there is Stephen West. And it was an event. It wasn't just he was stood there. It was an event, like a knitting chat event. They were talking about knitting, and not only was Stephen West there, Andrea Mowry was there. I'm sure there was another knitwear designer. I waltzed past Andrea Mowry and took a picture with Stephen West. Didn't even think about Andrea Mowry at the time. I don't know why. I have no idea why I did that. So I got this picture with Stephen West. I'll put it here. And he was lovely, as expected. And it was crazy because we were watching this talk and my phone battery was on 1%. And I could not, for the life of me, I couldn't walk away. I couldn't leave. I couldn't run upstairs and charge it for a bit. I didn't even really necessarily... I wasn't listening. I'd come in halfway through, so I didn't really know. I can't remember now what they were talking about or whatever. I guess how maybe they got into knitting and how do they got into designing and all this sort of thing. And it was on 1%. It was on 1%, and I was so stressed, and I like kind of ran to the front of the, not to the front of the line, but I got into the line. 1%, 1%, and took this picture, and I was like, oh, I bet it's gonna die right as I took the picture, and it didn't, and I got a picture with him, like I said, completely waltzed past Andrew and Ravelry, and then yeah, so that picture is on my Instagram somewhere. But I'll put it here, I'll put it on here, and you might have seen it already. If not, I'll put it on Instagram again. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really lovely meeting him. And yeah, so speaking of meeting people, I really need to be better at this. At Southern Wool Show, me and my mum met. So it is Jack and Jess of Big Sis Little Bro Making Show. There we go, I got it. And they've done 3 episodes, and they are doing really well on YouTube. You should definitely go and watch them. They are lovely, absolutely beautiful human beings in person, and they were so lovely to say hello to speak to. We were a bit nervous to meet them and say hello. Kirsty was there too from Wool and Wishes, so we said a little hello to her. Obviously Bird Street were sort of around as well, so we said hello to them. And me and Kirsty and me and my mum had a little chat. And oh no, was it Kirsty or Tracy? Sorry. How can I find that out? I know. Tracy, I'm so sorry, it was Tracy. It was Tracy we saw at Southern Wool Show. Kirsty wasn't there, of Wool and Wishes. So we saw Tracy. We had a little chat with her. I'm so sorry, Tracy. We missed you, Kirsty. If you're watching, probably not. But yeah, so we spoke to Tracy, and then we saw Big Sis Little Bro Making Show, and my mum said, should we say hello? And I said, I don't know, do you want to say hello? And she said, yeah. And so I said, okay. So we kind of went over, and they were looking at yarn, and we were like, hello. And then we spoke to them properly, and yeah, so that was lovely as well. And I am also terrible at this. I should have mentioned this in the last probably 2 episodes. No, 1 episode. When I went to, so cast your minds back, I went to Venetia's yarn shop in Fakenham in Norfolk, and she does little pop-ups. So there was a pop-up from Blue Fern Yarns. I had to be there for that. And Craft House Magic was the last one, the most recent one. And both times I saw Sam Rayner of the Sam Rayner podcast. Does she have another name? Let me see what her name is on here. Sam Rayner. So she has kindly been watching my podcast, and she showed it on her podcast, and it was very weird to watch myself being watched by somebody else on the YouTube. It was very strange, but I loved it, and thank you so much for watching. Why is she not popping up? Hello, this is very important. Sam Rayner. I'm sure it's just Sam Rayner. Sam, where are you? Oh, I've got one more mention. Sorry, this is not the mention show, but actually I've got 2 more mentions. I'm just going to do them, so put up with it. Sam Rayner, that's the one. That is her name on YouTube. Sam Rayner, lovely to meet her, lovely to have a little chat. She does a great podcast. She does little vlogs, so little weekly vlogs, and then she'll do a full podcast as well. So yeah, it's really fun watching her. And Craft House Magic is lovely. Obviously she was there with her husband and her son. Her son is so cute. And oh, my mind's gone blank. We also saw, when I was at Southern Wool Show, a lovely lady come up to me and she said, oh, I watch your podcast. And I said, oh, thank you for watching. And I am useless and didn't know who she was or what her name was. But anyway, I found out she is Hooked and Happy podcast on YouTube. I'm so sorry, I still don't know your name. Maybe it will say in here. Hooked and Happy. Hooked and Happy. Let's see if I can search you. Hooked and Happy podcast. Now she tends to do, by the looks of things, I haven't watched her yet, I'm so sorry. She tends to do so her name, Jo. Her name is Jo. So hello Jo, thank you for watching and thank you for saying hello and all of that, and thank you for subscribing as well. So Jo seems to do, from what I can tell, she does knitting but also crochet. So her Instagram is actually JoJoLou, JoJoLou_crochet. So it looks like she does some crochet, which is kind of fun to see. I don't see a lot of crochet because knitting is just what pops up most of the time. And then I have one more. I'm so sorry, this is an hour and 6 minutes. I have one more very important mention. Not that they were all important, but this one. I have been chatting on Instagram to Yarn and Glitter. She has a podcast. She's on episode 4, I think. She's also just done a little how to fade your yarn thing, which I thought I need to watch that because I don't know how to do that. Very beautiful knits. Her name is Emma and she is Yarn and Glitter on YouTube and Instagram. She knits these beautiful summer tops, like sleeveless kind of what would you call them? I want to say a tank top, but that's the wrong word because they're quite high neck. Beautiful, and she does it in like chunky yarns and DKs, and she's always buying chunky yarns, and she buys chunky boot clay, and yeah, so she's a bit different to kind of, in a good way, and to what I tend to watch. And I watch her wear these beautiful tops and I think, I want to wear that, but I don't like my shoulders and my arms, and anyway. But she looks stunning, and she reached out to me and she said that I was inspirational to her and that she didn't know if she wanted to start podcasting because of multiple reasons. And I said, just do it for yourself, if anything. And she's gone and done it, and it's beautiful, and it's fun listening to her and hearing what she's knitting and hearing about her mom. Her mom crochets some gorgeous things, so if you follow her mom as well. So I will tag all these people below, and I really don't want to miss anybody this time, so let me think. I think that's everybody. That is everybody. I felt terrible when Sam had done this beautiful video about me and I just didn't even mention her name. I felt terrible. So now I've done my mention, and I will mention her again in my next one if I remember. And yes, Yarn and Glitter as well. So few new podcasts for you. You've got Hooked and Happy podcast. You've got Yarn and Glitter. You've got Sam Rayner if you don't already watch her. You've got Wool and Wishes. If you fancy, you've got Big Sis Little Bro Making Show, and Norfolk Girls Knitting have just done one recently as well. So that should keep you busy while it's raining outside. When you've watched mine, obviously. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to do a podcast, another podcast again in a couple of days, and I'll stagger these out. Not stagger them, but I'll post one. This one will probably go up on the weekend, and the next one will go up the weekend after. The next one will be what I've been knitting. So it's been a month, I think a month and a half since I podcast, so I've got a few things to show. I'm also currently knitting. I'm currently doing a knit along, which I'll talk about a little bit more in that show. I've got two finished objects. They're just over there, so I'm just looking. 2 finished objects. No, three, sorry. 3 finished objects, and I've got a whip, and I've got two excuse me, one planned whip as well, that I've purchased. I just need to find the yarn for, and I'll talk about that more in the next episode. So I hope you've enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's been an hour and 9 minutes. The next one should be a little bit shorter, but I hope you enjoyed just one last little glimpse of these beauties. Maybe those two. No, I'm only kidding. So yeah, so hopefully a dustling will go on the needles next. Actually, it can't go next. It's got to go after the next. Oh, no. Yeah, anyway, it'll be on the needles soon, hopefully, because I'd like it for winter. That would be nice. And oh my god, I have one more thing. I'm so sorry. Right, we went to Norwich. Me and my mum went to Norwich for a little day out, and in Norwich they have a new yarn shop called Yarn in a Teacup. That's the label. Now, if you do watch Sam Rayner, she is related to the lady that runs Yarn in a Teacup. I'm not entirely sure the relation, so I'm not going to butcher it by guessing. That's her logo. How cute. And so we thought, well, we've got to go. So we went, and I couldn't walk away. So this is her details here. That's her details. That's the address, sorry. And then that's her Instagram and Facebook. She does a craft night on like a knit night on Thursday and Saturday, I think. But please check out her Instagram for those details, because I don't know for sure. She has, so it's Yarn in a Teacup, so it's a cafe and a yarn shop in one. So I don't drink coffee or tea or anything like that, so we got a little brownie. Well, was it a brownie? No, it was a flapjack. I apologise. It was a flapjack. It was lovely. So we got that. And I looked at the yarn and I thought, no, I don't need any yarn. I'm good. I bought a lot. And then I saw one and I just thought, no, I can't leave it there. So what's Yarn in a Teacup has done, and I say Yarn in a Teacup herself, she is very lucky to have Craft House Magic, Sam Rayner and Blue Fern yarns on her doorstep. Amazing. So she has beautiful yarns, as you can imagine. And yeah, so she had Blue Fern yarns, she had Craft House Magic, she had some, I don't know what the other yarns were actually. They weren't of interest, but they were commercial yarns, I think. But I was interested in these ones. Pink era. Did I say this already? Pink. Can't get enough of it. So this is Craft House Magic. So Craft House Magic, Blue Fern yarns, have done a special colourway for Yarn in a Teacup. I don't know if you can get them on their website, I'm so sorry. But this is Craft House Magic, crafthousemagik.co.uk. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And this is Karen's Vintage Tea Room. Now, I don't know if the lady is called Karen. I'm assuming so. Karen's Vintage Tea Room. So this is a special colourway for the yarn shop. 425 meters, 100 grams, 4-ply, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Beautiful. I just want all the pink. And I'm not a pink person usually, but there we go. Beautiful. I've done it all now. I can let you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry it was quite long. Like I said, the next one shouldn't be as long, but if I start waffling, who knows? Could be here all day. Bye.